Hi, my name is Kristen and this is Kristen Craves Books. I'm so excited to announce that I am once again co-hosting the Reindeer Readathon. This is a month-long readathon in December and it got me in such a festive mood last year that I was so excited when Erik asked me to do this again. I'm once again the captain of Team Stalking. I am here to help defend our crown since we did win last year. I'm going to leave Erik's announcement video down below. Definitely watch that because he goes into great details about the prompts, all of the merch that you can buy. There are some really adorable bookmarks that Erik has made this year, and he sends those all out himself personally in a card, and he said you'll also get some stickers, so check that stuff out. There are sponsors, so we are doing reading sprints throughout the month, and there will be giveaways in some of those reading sprints. Hopefully we can organize a Christmas trivia because that was so much fun last year. If you are a Discord user, there is a Discord and it's already getting competitive. Once you sign up, Erik will eventually send you an email to give you your team assignment. So this is not a readathon where you can choose which team you are going to be on. Erik wants the teams to be even, which makes a lot of sense. So he is personally sending all those emails out. So be patient with him. It might take a couple of days. I think we're at over 500 signups at this point, and pretty much everybody has gotten their team assignment. So he's quick with it, but just please be patient. And then once you get those, you can join the Discord and choose your team and enter like an exclusive team chat. But you can also talk with everybody who's in the readathon. Share your TBRs on there, share your pets on there, share your Christmas decorations, which I love to see how everybody decorates for holidays. It's so fun. But you don't need to be on the Discord. If you're not a Discord user, you can still participate separately. There's a Twitter. Again, we're having reading sprints that you can join. There's some great co-hosts this year. So obviously Erik, who created this readathon along with his partner Marcus. Erik is the captain of Team Mistletoe every year, then myself, Team Stalking. Then we have Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages, who is captain of Team Snowflake. Christine and Mo from Roomie's Digest are the co-captains of Team Nutcracker. And then Hannah from the Paperback Bruncher and Vanessa from Read with Dr. B are co-captains of Team Candy Cane. So please check all of their channels out and subscribe because we'll all be hosting reading sprints individually, and they all just have amazing channels, and I'm so excited to get to know everybody better throughout the month of December. So I think I covered everything. Anything I missed, you will find out in Erik's announcement video, and if you have questions, feel free to DM me or check out the Discord because there are some questions that have come up and people have been answered on there. Even just leave a comment below this video if you want to know more. I'm just excited to do this readathon once again and to connect with everybody and really get in the festive spirit. So now let's get into my TBR, and a lot of this is just going to be done on the fly because there are some questions I think too that you can't really plan ahead of time, and each of the prompts corresponds with one of Santa's reindeer, which is so fun. So the first one is Dasher, and that is to read a book where the title contains one of the first 5 words you see in the grid on page 4. So when you look at the prompts, there's a PDF that you can download, and the last page there is like a word search. So you have to look at that word search, pick out your first 5 words that you see, and then find a book that has one of those words in the title. So I haven't even looked at that yet because I don't want to spoil myself. So I'm gonna pop it up on the screen here and I'll look at it on my phone and we'll just see what I can come up with. So looking at this is bigger than I thought it would be. I see book right away, which makes a lot of sense. Blood is the second one. Queen, that's a good one. Summer, which I don't know that I'd want to read a book that has summer in the title now, but if you live in the southern hemisphere, that might be a good one. And sushi, sushi. So that is interesting. So what did I even say now? Book, blood, queen, sushi, and summer. And my cat is trying to get me to open the blinds. 1 second. Book and blood are probably my 2 best bets here. So I'm gonna go to my Goodreads and look on my want to read shelf and see what comes up for those 2 words. Blood over Brighthaven is a good one, but that's probably longer than what I want to read in December. Let me just check the page length on that. Yeah, 527. There's potential I will already have to read a long book, so I'm not going to choose that one. Inkblood Sister Scribe is also a good option because that was nominated in the fantasy category, the Goodreads Choice Awards. That's a potential one. Blood Mercy I should probably take off my TBR because I DNF'd that one and it's also a long one. So really those are the only ones I'm seeing for blood. So right now Inkblood Sister Scribe is probably the winner for that word. Let's do book. A lot of these have book in the series name, but not in the title of the book itself. The Book of Gothel I could do. That is actually a potential good one because that's been recommended to me quite a bit. It's only 374 pages. I think I might do Book of Gothel now that I'm looking at this. Let me just check Queen, because I don't think I'm gonna have sushi, and I don't think I'm in the mood for a book that has summer in the title. So let's do Queen, but I'm thinking the Book of Gothel is probably my best bet. Oh wait, The Weaver and the Witch Queen, which is a book I just talked about wanting to read. It's one of the 2023 releases I have my eye on. It's 424 pages, and I did say I want to read A Witch's Heart first, so maybe not that one. The Bandit Queens. You know what? I own that. I know I own the Bandit Queens. I can't seem to find it. I might have left it at my parents' place, but that is also an option. So that is actually a good one, because again, that's one that's nominated for the Goodreads Choice Award. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna choose In the Mood. If I can find the Bandit Queens, that'll probably be the one I go for. If not, I also am interested in the Book of Gothel. It'll just come down to which audiobook I can access. So in the end, we ended up with 2 really good ones, and 2 that have been recommended to me and I've heard good things about. Just warning you now, you're gonna see a lot of holiday related books on this TBR because I'm really in the mood for those this year. And the next prompt is Dancer, read a book with a title that has at least 5 words in it. And I went for a book that has exactly 5 words in the title, and that is 3 Holidays and a Wedding. This is by Uzma Jalaluddin and Marissa Stapley. And Uzma Jalaluddin is an author that I love. She is Canadian. She wrote Aisha at Last, which is a book I really appreciated and is underrated. And this is 3 times the holiday magic, 3 times the chaos. All I know about this one is that it's set in the year 2000 because that is when Hanukkah, Ramadan, and Christmas all happened at the same time. So I think that's a really interesting concept, and we're following these strangers who are all on the same plane, and they end up having to do an emergency landing, and they are in this small town where a Hallmark kind of movie is being filmed and some kind of romance happens. So I think that sounds adorable, and as I said, I already know I like Uzma Jalaluddin's writing, and I'm curious to see how that goes with a co-author. And it just looks so festive and fun, and it's perfect for this prompt. So number 1. Next up is Prancer, and that is to read a book set in a place you've never been to before. And somebody asked on the Discord, and I think this is a good question, if fantasy counts, and it 100% counts. So I'm going for a reread for this one, and that is This Vicious Grace by Emily Theed. My friend Marie and I are rereading this because no one else appreciates this book as much as I do other than Maria, and I love that. We definitely have similar romanticy tastes, and this is one of our favorites. And the sequel finally comes out in December, and we wanted to reread the first one before we got to the sequel because we just love these characters so much. And this is a fantasy. It's actually set on an island that is inspired by Italy, and I have been to Italy, but not this particular island because it is not real. And I just needed to get this on the TBR, and this was the only place where it really worked. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get the sequel on my TBR, but know that I will definitely be reading the sequel as well. And I just hope that reading this brings more attention to it because I just love this book so much. And it's just a duology, so not that big of an investment. It's just so good. It's one of those her touch can kill things, but it's done in such a unique way. It's also got the bodyguard trope in it, and I just love all the characters. Some found family aspects as well, in an isolated island. So many of my buzzwords that it just really worked for me. Vixen is to read a book that you've been putting off, and I thought, okay, I could pick something that's been on my TBR for a long time. I could pick a really big book, but I don't think that December's the time to be doing that. So I settled on The Scandalous Confessions of Lydia Bennet Witch by Melinda Taube because I built this book so much in my head. If you watch my other videos lately, you know that there's 2 things I love, Pride and Prejudice and witches. You're putting those 2 together. I should love this. So I'm scared. I've been putting it off because what if I don't love it as much as I should in theory? But I have the audiobook downloaded. I really am curious about it. It's not getting a lot of attention. I have been avoiding reviews that I do see because I don't want to go into it with any expectations except the ones that I've already built it up in my head. So I just need to do that. And something about that feels appropriate for December. I like Pride and Prejudice any time of the year, but the 2005 movie is my favorite movie, and I do like it around Christmas time for some reason. And I'm just into this. I love the idea of seeing the events of Pride and Prejudice told from Lydia's perspective because she's a very interesting character, and then making her a witch just adds to the intrigue. So yes, I've been putting it off because I just think I'm gonna love it so much and I don't want to be let down. But this is the perfect prompt and the perfect excuse to get to it. Comet. That is to read a book that starts with the same letter as your star sign. Determiner words are optional. So determiner words, actually Erik has a link in case you want to see a list of determiner words, but they're words like the, those kind of things. So if you are, say, a Virgo, because that seems to be the one people are struggling with most, and you need to read a book that starts with V, you can pick a book that's like the V word or whatever it is. And I am a Gemini, and that was a bit tricky. I didn't want to use determiner words. I tried to challenge myself, and then I remembered that this book is coming out or just came out, and I've been really curious about it, and that is Gwen and Art Are Not in Love by Lex Crosier. Lex Crosier wrote Reputation, which I know is not everybody's favorite, but I thought was hilarious and loved it. And this is their first YA book, I believe. And if you can't tell by the title, it is an Arthurian retelling. And in the story, Gwen and Art are betrothed, but they both have different love interests, and they decide to fake their relationship so that they can both date their true loves in secret behind the scenes. And that just sounds fun. And then you're gonna have the nights and all that stuff. Looks like a good time to me, and one that I actually have an e-arc of that I've been putting off. And you know how I've said this before, I have to be in the mood to read my Kindle. That has definitely come back, so I'm excited about that one. Cupid is to read a book that has multiple points of view, and I went with Mistletoe and Mishagos by M.A. Wardell, and I know that this is actually the second book in a series, but it's a romance, so I'm sure you can read these separately. This is more of a companion. There's a cat with a mop on the back, so that sold me on it. And I flipped through a lot of romances are dual POV, so I feel like that's a safe genre to go to. But yeah, chapter 1 is from Sheldon's perspective, and chapter 2 is from Theo's, so that is perfect. And I love a dual POV romance. I want to know what both characters are thinking as they navigate a new relationship. And it says, Beauty and the Bear, can these opposites fake their way into something real? Love it. So I love opposites attract. I love fake dating, and I've heard good things about the first book in this series. And I honestly can't say that I've read a lot of romances that focus on teachers, even though everybody I know is a teacher. I have so many teachers in my life, so that will be interesting, and I hope to report back and tell you how much I love this, because I love this cover, I love the concept of this, and again, there's a cat. Donna is to read a book that has multiple animals on the cover, and they can be the same animal, and I saw this and I was like, perfect. This is A Cat Cafe Christmas by Cody Gary. I got this for a good price, I think in August, so it was the first holiday romance I bought in 2023, and I've been saving it, obviously. You know from the last book, if there's a cat on the cover, I'm going to want to read it. I've been to one cat cafe and love it so much. I want to adopt every cat I see. There's actually a cat, I know this is off topic, but there was actually a cat in my backyard yesterday, and I've never been so excited, but then I was nervous that it was going to attack my squirrels, and it was a whole thing. But I just love cats so much. And this is obviously about a couple that falls in love at a cat cafe, I'm gonna guess. A laugh out loud, opposites attract romance about 3 of the world's most beloved seas: Christmas, coffee, and cats. That's the way to my heart. And the thing I like about these Christmas romances is obviously December's a really busy month, and I can fly through these no problem. Did I just see the cover art on here? Or the chapter art? A cat. So there you go. I have high hopes for this one. Oh no, we're at the prompt that I've been scared to do. This is Blitzen, and this is to roll a dice or use a random number generator, numbers 1 through 6. The number you get multiplied by 100 is the minimum amount of pages the book needs to have. So if I roll a 6, I have to read a book that's at least 600 pages. If I roll a 1, I have to read a book that's at least 100 pages, but it can be as long as I want it to be. I could read a 1,000-page book if I wanted to. So, which I don't, but that's just, it's a minimum, not has to be in like the 100 range or anything like that. So let me pull up a random dice generator thing on here. Let me see. My card filled up as soon as I got to this point. I don't know if that's a bad sign. So here is the dice that I'm using, and let me just make sure you can see it. Roll. It's not working. None of this is going well. None of this is going well. It's a bad omen. A 2. So that's perfect. A 2 I can do. So now I just have to think, because pretty much anything I can read at this point. I could put the sequel to This Fish's Grace on here, but I want to do something different. So let me just have a think on this one. Okay, actually this is perfect, because before filming this, I completely forgot that I had agreed to a buddy read with a friend on Discord, and we are reading Accidental Magic. This is by Iris Beaglehole. I don't know anything about this other than it's witchy, and it's on KU, and apparently Olivia Atwater recommended it in her newsletter. I adore Olivia Atwater. I just subscribed to her newsletter to get all these recommendations, but she read the first 2 books in the series and highly recommended it. And I love witchy books. I love everything Olivia Atwater writes, so in theory I should like her recommendations. And to buddy read this one will be fun, and it is 314 pages, so well over 200. And again, one I can read on my Kindle, and I'm in a Kindle mood right now, so I'm gonna embrace it. And then Rudolph is to read a book that came out before you were born or was published in the year 2023. Thank goodness for that caveat at the end, because I am in my 30s and I'm not in the mood to read a classic. I'm just kidding. I know that books written before me are not classics quite yet, but we're getting there. So I went with Time to Shine by Rachel Reed. This is actually an arc that I desperately need to get to. I am not a big hockey romance person, but that is not really fair because I haven't read many. I'm just not a hockey person. I am a terrible Canadian. I cannot stand hockey, but I'm open to trying the romance, and this looks like a really cute one. It is set in Canada, and yeah, it's about these two players who are on the same Calgary farm team, and they fall in love and have a romance. A merry and bright hockey romance about finding your place, finding your people, and finding your way back to the one you love most. So it just sounds fun and adorable, and will be my first step into hockey romance to see if I like the hockey romances more than I like the sport itself. So hopefully these are the books that I will stick to as a mood reader. We all know that that might change, but I really want to make sure that I'm hitting all the prompts. And to me, this looks like the perfect TBR, no complaints. Maybe I'll sneak some other things in there as well, but this is quite a lot. There are also bonus prompts, but those bonus prompts you have to pair up with books from the main prompts. So one of them is to read an audiobook. So one of these books, for sure, I'll read an audiobook for. One is to read an ebook. As I said, I got a couple here that I only have on ebook, so that is perfect. And it's worth noting that if ebooks or audiobooks are not accessible for you in any way, that is no problem. You can double up on one of the other bonus prompts. So for example, if audiobooks aren't great for you, you can read 2 ebooks instead. I forgot the third prompt is, but there's definitely a third one. So you can double up if for whatever reason one of the bonus prompts is not good for you. So I love that caveat in there as well. And yeah, so there's also a list of rules that Erik has laid out in the form, so please check that out. And I hope that you are excited to join us on this, and I'm excited to see what team everybody ends up on and to just defend Team Stocking's winning crown, because we won last year, and I think even though I wasn't a co-host the year before, I do think Team Stocking won that year as well, so we're going for 3 in a row. So I'm so excited to see everybody's TBR and to talk on the Discord, and just for December in general. I've really been feeling festive. I've already done a lot of Christmas baking. Obviously I've decorated and things like that. A lot of buying and shopping has already happened. I just need to start wrapping at some point, but we've got plenty of time, right? So anyways, I can't wait to talk to you on the Discord and through the reading sprints and to just have so much fun in December. Thank you again for your support. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.